URC Round 17 is in the books. A really good week of rugby. One more week to go after this, but I will be doing a preview for that. So if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. The channel's grown so much in the past few months, and I honestly appreciate all the support. I have not done a video in the last 5 days. I have been away, so if you do enjoy travel content as well, go give a subscribe to our travel channel. It's in the bio. I'll also include it in the comments as well. So if you guys are interested in that, my partner and I do a travel channel. But let's get into it. I mean, the first game of the weekend, Glasgow versus Cardiff, a 40 points to 17 win for Glasgow over Cardiff in Glasgow. I'm not surprised with this result, but this also puts Cardiff in a very uncomfortable position going into the final week. Now, they've got a big game going into this week. I think they are playing against Edinburgh, in Edinburgh, if I'm not, or away from home, or at home. I'm not too sure which one, but I think they're playing against Edinburgh. But either way, whoever Cardiff do play this weekend, it's going to be a very tough game for them because they have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. They are now in a position where they could lose out to position in the playoff spot. That would be very unfortunate if that does end up happening. But this Cardiff team is not a bad team. I mean, 40 points to 17. Yes, on the scoreboard, it looks like a big score, but this Glasgow team oozes quality. They're a very good team, and they showed it once again on Friday night. But now they've got one game left to really make it or break it. Right now, as it looks, they are in the playoff spot, but there's other teams really putting pressure on them. So this Cardiff team right now has to kind of wake up and just be ready for this final game. Treat it like the first playoff match. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams going into the final week of the URC that are going to be treating this final week of rugby, or the last 2 weeks of rugby, even the last past weekend that just passed. They're going to be treating it like the first playoff games, which they have to, because if they do fall out of the competition, that also affects their Champions Cup, Challenge Cup spots, and there's a lot of teams even fighting for a top 4 spot that might end up being in the 8th position or the 6th position. So there's a lot to go for, a lot to play for this weekend. I mean, home quarterfinals, whoever you want to play against as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of the teams do not want to be playing against Glasgow. Teams that are in the bottom 4 as well do not want to be touring to South Africa as well. They'd rather be playing against a team from their home country. So there's a lot for these teams to play for. But moving on to the second game, we had Ulster versus the Stormers. Now, I'm a South African fan, and I don't think the Stormers deserve to win this game. I honestly think Ulster maybe feel like they lost this game from the draw, and Stormers might feel like they would have won this game with it being a draw. So there was a lot of things that went well for the Stormers, but also a lot of things that maybe didn't go their best. It wasn't their best game of rugby, but it is a very big performance for the Stormers to go to Ulster. A very tough team to beat at home. Yes, they have a lot of injuries, but for them to go to Ulster and draw against a team like this in a very difficult place to play rugby is a good result for the Stormers team. Now, they obviously are pushing for a home quarterfinal spot. I think they have secured it now. I'm not too sure. But with 1 week left, they are really going to be pushing for that home quarterfinal spot and maybe that number 1 spot in the rankings as well. It's up for grabs now with 1 week left. So this last week of the URC is going to be absolutely awesome. I cannot wait for it. But I will be doing a preview and a prediction video for that. But it's going to be absolutely awesome to watch. Obviously, there was a few guys from the Stormers that had some really good games. Sasha Ngomazulu had a phenomenal game. On Ulster's side, Joano Augustus had a phenomenal game. He looked like the real deal, and he's showing why he is one of the best 8s in the world right now and why he probably could be in the Springbok squad going forward. He looked really good. But moving on to the Saturday games, it started off with the Bulls versus Zebre. The Bulls getting the win, 54 points to 19. There was a period in this game where I almost thought that Zebre was going to come back. They just looked a bit more comfortable. They kind of got taken out of their comfort zone at the start of the game. Got to kind of run off their feet as well. But the Bulls were just too strong for Zebre at the end of the day. I mean, this Bulls team right now is really training up at the right time. If you think some of the players they have with Volku Low, Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Marco van Staden, Elrich Low, Kobus Wiese, Cameron Hanekom, Pilo Gomede on the bench as well, Embrace Papier, and Paul de Wet started this game, and he's a very good player as well. So this Bulls team has some phenomenal players. They have Cheswell Ewis, they're showing his pace off on the outside. Curtly Orense, one of my favourite Springbok players and a World Cup winning Springbok. They didn't even have Andre Pollard starting at 10, and they still had a really good game. So this Bulls team has so much depth, and I think the one kind of worry for this Bulls team is going to be when it does get to that first quarterfinal game, that first playoff game, who are they going to pick? Who are they going to select? Because there's so many good guys playing well together in different combinations, different positions, that it's going to be very difficult to see who they will pick. But I'm pretty sure that whoever they do pick, the 23 will be very strong and probably could have a very good chance of winning this tournament going forward. So the Bulls are looking strong at the right time. And moving on to another team that looks strong at the completely wrong time is the Sharks, getting a 46 points to 7 win over Benetton at home. Now, the key talking point from this game has to be the young guy himself, Zekatelo Siaya, playing in the fly half position. What a game from him. What a talent. He's been absolutely taking the rugby world by storm the last few weeks. He looks like the real deal. He's a big guy as well. He's good under the high ball. He's got a good boot. He's got a very smart kind of running game as well. He's very powerful as well. He's a very good rugby player. Now, he went to the high school I went to, so of course I'm going to like him. Of course I'm going to watch him, but he's a really good guy. He's a humble guy as well, and I really can't wait to see more of Zekatelo Siaya at that top level. I think, honestly, he could maybe make a shock Springbok debut this year if they were to play him on the wing for a game or play him off the bench, especially against a team where they do want to bring some of those younger guys in to get more confidence, because that would be very big for him. But I don't think he is a fly half. He played very well in the fly half position. I think his position going forward should be fullback, and I think they will play him at fullback. I think there was a lot of circumstances that came into him playing fly half for this game. He is a fullback in my opinion. I mean, can you just imagine that back three with Edward van der Merwe, Jaco Williams, and Zekatelo Siaya? It would be absolutely awesome. Now, I do think going forward, he will either play at fullback or on the wing for the junior Springboks and for the Sharks as well. Of course, the junior Springboks were also missing out on Zekatelo Siaya, so they've still got him, Chiswell Uester, Iseto Mnebelele, Jaco Williams, and Marcus Miller coming back, so they're going to be just fine as well. They're going to do really well in the Under-20 World Cup this year. But just talking about Zekatelo Siaya, very good performance at fly half. I think his future is at fullback, so I would like to see him play there more. But what a performance from him. As well as Jaco Williams, as well as the boogeyman Lorenzo Julius as well. Lorenzo Julius really showed up this game and showed what he's made of. Now, I would just like to see a season where Lorenzo Julius doesn't have a lot of injuries, because I think that would be a very fun season to watch, and I think he honestly would probably be a no-brainer to put in the Springbok squad if he was to play a full season. I mean, there are so many good, talented individuals coming through the system right now in South Africa, and he is one of them. He is one of the most spoken about names, one of the best schoolboy rugby players ever as well. So it's good to see a guy like him putting up a performance like that. But can he do it now on a consistent basis? I would like to see that. Now, him in the number 13 jersey, Esterhuizen in the number 12 jersey really worked out well as well. But what will they do with Ethan Hooker when he's back? So that's going to be a very interesting decision. What do they do? Do they move Andre Esterhuizen into the loose forwards permanently now, because they know he can play there, if they want to have guys like Esterhuizen, Lorenzo Julius, and Ethan Hooker on the field at the same time? That's going to be very interesting. But also, a very disappointing performance for Benetton. I mean, a team with so much class getting a red card like that, a very silly red card, unfortunate event. Hopefully Makazole Mapimpi is okay, but yeah, for this team with the kind of players they have, I was seeing all these Italian internationals. For them, that's a very shock result. Not a good result for them at all, especially if you think that they were hunting a playoff spot as well at one stage. So very disappointing from Benetton. We're moving on to the next game. We have Ospreys versus the Scarlets. 27 points to the Ospreys, 20 points to the Scarlets. A really good win for the Ospreys. Now, obviously, they right now are probably the second best Welsh team, but this Scarlets team is just a very tough team to beat. So that's why I think this performance from Ospreys is so good, is such a monumental win for them, because for some reason in these Welsh derbies, the Scarlets team just plays with so much grit and determination, and they become a very difficult team to beat. So a good win for Ospreys as well at home. Moving on to the next game, we have Leinster versus Lions. Now, the scoreboard says 31 points to 7, but I don't think the scoreboard really reflects how the game went. I think the Lions really pitched up, showed what they're made of, showed that they definitely will be a team to not fear, but a team to respect going forward. They have a very good team. They've got some very good players. I mean, Siba Mahashe, Bato Tlekani, Ruan Fencer. They've got Morne van den Berg as well. They've got some phenomenal rugby players in their squad. I mean, Ethan Adams is also coming through the system as well. I'm pretty sure if you have been watching the Under-20s or been on social media, you've seen Ethan Adams, a phenomenal rugby player. He's only 18 now, or turning 19 this year. He's definitely one to watch as well. But 31 points for Leinster, 7 points for the Lions. Not the best game for the Lions. Obviously, they did lose out on this one, but Leinster just showing that they have that kind of class that is permanent, that the class that just outperforms every other team. I mean, this Leinster team right now is trending on the up at the right time. Throughout the start of the year, people were kind of worried about what is Leinster doing. They're not putting teams away that they need to put away. They're not putting up these big performances, but now in the last few weeks, no matter who they play, they've been putting up some massive performances. This is really good for them leading into the URC playoffs, as well as leading into the Champions Cup final. I really think that this Leinster team has a very good chance of winning the final. Obviously, it is a 50-50 for the final, but this Leinster team right now is looking really good at the right time in the season. And the same can be said for the Ireland team as well. They're looking good now. They're getting better now, where last year they weren't at their best. But in previous cycles before the World Cup, they would be at their best right now and just kind of fade off a bit towards the World Cup. So very good from Leinster. Lions will bounce back, and I think the Lions are going to have a really big game next week against Munster. But this Lions team is definitely a team to watch. If they do make the playoffs, they will be a very tough team to beat, and they probably aren't a team you want to be playing right now, because on any given day they can beat any team in this league, which is good to see from this league. I mean, the URC this year has been so fun to watch because all the teams could beat each other on any given day, where the last few years it's just been a completely different story where you'd see some cricket scores going on. So it's good to see that from the Lions as well, especially such a young squad that also won the SA Shield this year with the least amount of Springbok players. So that's very good to see. On to the next game that we had, Dragons versus Edinburgh. A very good win for Edinburgh. I mean, let's talk about Edinburgh's season. They've not been at their best this year. They've been very disappointing, highly disappointing season from them. If you think of the players they have, I think they have had a few injuries as well, but just the whole group of players they have, the whole squad depth they have, and the star players, Duan van der Merwe, Piers Skuman, all these good players they have, Darcy Graham as well. Their season has been a massive disappointment. I mean, for them to get a win now against a pretty gritty, pretty well performing Dragons team is a very good result for them. But right now it doesn't really mean much. It just can kind of give them a positive end to the season before they look for their preseason before next year. So for the Dragons and for Edinburgh, right now they're pretty much playing consolation games, playing to kind of end off the year on a positive note. But for Edinburgh, that was a good win. For Dragons, they're going to go back to the drawing board. But in my opinion, the Dragons have honestly had a pretty successful season this year. They weren't going to challenge for the playoffs. Maybe in the coming years they can, because they've got some very exciting players. They're building a bit of a better squad as well, and they're a very tough team to beat on their day. I mean, they've toured to South Africa. They were very tough to beat there. They almost beat the Stormers at home, and they are a very tough team to beat. They never lose a game by a big margin. They just managed to lose games quite consistently. So for them to work on for them next year is to definitely be more consistent and to just get it over the line and win those closely contested games. But moving on to the last game of the week, Connacht versus Munster. Now this was a huge win for Connacht. They needed this win to stay obviously in the title race as well, but in the playoff hunt. They are in the playoff hunt. They still aren't in the playoff positions, but they will definitely be the team this week, going with a lot of confidence. They've got nothing to lose, and I think this team right now could be a team that kicks out one of the lower teams in the top 8 for a playoff spot. Now, I personally do think that Cardiff could be a team that could be worrying about their spot in the playoffs, and right now this Connacht team, if they keep playing like this, they're going to get to the playoffs. But they're not just going to get to the playoffs, they're going to get to the playoffs and they're going to go deep into this competition as well. Munster, on the other hand, a few disappointing performances from them now in a row. The last few weeks have not been the best for them. They're going to have to try bounce back next week against a very determined Lions team. It's 1 week left and they really have to win that next one. But for a lot of teams next week, they've got a bunch of important games. It's going to be such a good week of rugby. But I will be doing a video on that, so stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.